What about Sonic.exe? Have you read that one?
Red what?
Have you read Sonic.exe?
No.
Oh boy, let's go. It's the theory is that it's written by basically a middle schooler. Yes.
It's about Sonic?
Yes. It's grand. It's just a fucking time. God damn, it blew it up real big.
That's what she said.
Shut up. Alright, this is gonna be an experience, but we might as well get it out of the way. It's called Sonic.exe. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had, ... It started on a nice... I feel like that jumped. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed, that one Sonic reference. I want you to count how many there are, because there are several. There are several. I like how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in the mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting. Though, what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. If you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes for you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc, and don't destroy him too. But do it quick. Otherwise, he'll cut you. Don't even play the game. I'm trying to take it seriously. I'm really doing it.
Compose yourself.
It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. ... Kyle. He wrote fucking ... after please on his letter. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me to do. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him after all. It's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that! Boy, was I wrong about that. It's fucking crazy in today's climate. You gotta be shitting me. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looks like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker on it written Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it because I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room.
Then say it like it's in all caps.
Since I'm a big Sonic fan, you know? I went into my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game, and I was like, awesome! Awesome. It's painful. I need a second, because it's painful. Wait, this is written. The first thing I noticed that was out of place when I pressed start. There was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different, something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black.
Baby's never been through anything before, and I think it's about to show.
I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666, and the water had turned red like blood, except it looked
hyper-realistic.
But the freakiest thing was in that split-second frame, Sonic, his eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me! And his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black and stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. And then another weird thing happened to me. I want to reference that too. He's very specific on how long some of these things take. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up. And I was like, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark cloudy sky at the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. And there was only 3 save files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now, I was sure something was up. I mean, how could you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? I'm not, like, commenting. That's how the story actually is written. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy. But as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. But as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. This was definitely written by a child.
Yeah, you can tell.
I told myself that it was just a hacked game and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked out file 1 and chose Tails. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. There's another time. I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. Why is he so specific? The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. There's another time. Then it showed the typical level title thing. Except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red and the text showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the green hill zone from Sonic 1. Another reference. The music was different, though it sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, he says anyway so much. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails running it like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that Tails was running along the level. There was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. Another time stamp there for you. It's like Drake at this fucking point. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I'd never seen him have before, so I had to move along. And he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers, and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like someone killed them in a rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of its limbs torn off, and a duck had its eyes gouged out. What is this fucking
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Hell yeah, dude.
What is this Jeffrey Dahmer ass behavior?
I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails going. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered. Obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that even moving my keyboard to make him move. What the fuck am I... And I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. Moving your keyboard, dog. You push buttons on your keyboard. You don't move your keyboard. It's not a fucking trackpad. It's a goddamn keyboard. So this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, stuck, not stick. Dog.
Does he know how to write?
Apparently fucking not. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned to black, and the static sound was off. It stayed for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point,
I'm thinking that might be a good idea.
That's a paraphrase. They didn't actually say that. At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with this game, but my curiosity got the better of me. When I was taken to a different level with the title now saying, "Hide and Seek." This time, I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3. There's another reference. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted me to get out of the area as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2.
That's another reference.
It was.
Was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Do you find peanut butter on your balls often?
Not often.
Are you sure?
No.
Fuck.
And I have 4 dogs. Do with that what you will.
Where suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again. There's suddenly that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds, there's another timestamp had passed as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful, drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying! The flying pose this sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD. I'm trying to do this enthusiastically, but it's so fucking hard when I'm reading another goddamn Sonic reference. Like, except it was just Sonic, and he had the black and red eyes again. This time, he had the most deranged look on his face. He had the most deranged grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving that poor little fox as it gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene. The music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there for about 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself, but then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as it grinned slowly. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to fucking crash out.
Dude, it's okay.
I've seen wars. I've seen people die. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it.
Oh, God.
Crash home, crash home. I was so shocked by what happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends. Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook the sock. Off. As I was brought back to the character select, the save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Tails next. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash out. I meant to say pick Knuckles, but my fucking brain went TISM mode. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black again, and stayed there for about 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if it was a glitch or a hack or some kind of sick twisted joke or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looked much different, and at the ground of the scrap brain zone, I'm gonna fuck you.
Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
But the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish cloud sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Geiger's theme right after you beat Pokey and Earthbound! We need to get through this. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid just like Tails did, though not as much. More rather, he looked like a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. So how did he break the fourth wall? What did he do? He ran down the straight pathway in the dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening laugh came back. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear, again thinking something horrible is going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes. And then red static appeared again. When static vanished, showing nothing but black screen. Nothing but black screen with text saying, "Found you." I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came up again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, a high-pitched squealing from Silent Hills.
Wait, so now we're bringing Silent Hill into this?
Yes. From Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't. I hope to God I don't crash out by the time this is done. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in pixelated black smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles again, and I made him punch him again, and Sonic vanished again. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles.
This is a child. This is actually a child.
Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head sobbing. I felt his agony. I felt his pain, bro. I felt his agony. Knuckles was actually driving us both crazy. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles, and the screen went black with another distorted screaming noise that lasted about 3 seconds. Another text appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. What the hell was going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game. I think I might just read the fucking story for the rest of the thing in that voice because I feel like it fits better. But I was too scared to think that. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray. His dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And again, blood. He had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those were the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it! Fuck! So I shut off the game and took a break. I took a nap. Steven. I wish I had
Not allowed.
Because then I began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us. Why did you give us to him? And run away before he gets you too." Their cries died out as I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh, it sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. Dude, this guy's scared of a pixelated fucking hedgehog.
Can you blame him?
I mean, dude, he's fucking black, bloody, and has the laugh of Kefka guy. So I guess I get the point. I get it. I'm empathizing with him now. I get it. Their cries died out as I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh. It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle. Though he didn't last long." I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. "Won't be long now until you join him. And all my other friends." I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others." When he grabbed me, and I saw his bleeding black and red eyes, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing this game. You know, this would be terrifying if I was 12 too. I didn't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. I selected Robotnik next. I still thought this was wacky, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level tile appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. Dude, it's so fucking ... Dude. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any kind of... It didn't look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. Dude, he couldn't make the reference this time. He couldn't. He couldn't make the reference this time. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was any from classic Sonic games, though. It had the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark bloodstains here and there. Shut the fuck up! My watch was trying to scream at me. A piano played a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I know better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turns his head left, and then he turns his head to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on, even though I was scared out of my mind.
You really spelled it like Outa.
Like out of Compton, like straight out of Compton. I'm gonna crash out. I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen. I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation. You know, when you've beaten him at the end of the classic Sonic game! And you chase him as we continue going through the hallway. Then I stop at a long flight of stairs. Sorry, my brain's shutting down. It's so many references. Okay, we're almost done. When I stop at a long flight of stairs leading downward, now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I've tried to go back with Robotnik, but he just always falls on the stairs. I don't remember what. As I lead Robotnik down the stairs, I've tried to go back with Robotnik, but he always fell on the stairs. I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed on another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. Then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer, took at least 1 full minute. Then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again. The music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned dark red, and torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed on the third hallway, I noticed he looked really creeped out, though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped up right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles and then red static. The red static lasted about 5 seconds, And then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image was a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into the black. And when I say hyper-realistic, man, I mean like he looked so real. You could actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face. Oh God, he had the most horrifying smile. Crash out, crash out, crash out. Oh God, he had the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw the image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black, and once again crying blood, which are also looked hyper-realistic. There were 2 small glowing red dots in the black eyes staring right at me. No, hold on, I need to, it's in all caps, so I need to. Right at me! No one calls.
Your mic was clipping. I couldn't hear any of that, bro.
Okay, where was I before I actually, pretty much crashed out just now? We're almost done. As if staring into my mind, his grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the side of his face like a Cheshire cat, except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs, much like the werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from what the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips, as in he ate some small animal. I stared at the gruesome image for about 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. Another time, I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself permanently into my brain. Then the screen flickered the red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time, I heard the Kefka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted.
Demonic even.
Dude, I'm so scared. I'm gonna piss myself. It went back to the image again. Dude, how many times? Because I was scared to admit it. Because I count 4.
Like 38.
Fuck, dude. At least I'm not alone. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God, in all caps. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic that it hit me. Are you ready for this story to take the cringe meter from a steady 4 up to 10? Because the ending of the story... Dude. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then. Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me. Played again 3 times as I looked at this text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the 3rd save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened, his glasses broke and blood coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik and cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they were going through. Oh! Oh! They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog and always will be. It was also 2 white angels' wings, and he was carrying Tails away by his red shoes, and Tails screaming for help, face. What the fuck?! The Sonic was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. This is when it turns up to 10 on the cringe meter. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and possibly Kyle.
And possibly Kyle.
Are just his
How
little
much more
toys.
is there, dude?
Are just his little toys, and the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell is his victims are tracked. Nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Quick red static popped up once again, and a message in Japanese, white small letters showed up, which translated to, "There is a way to release ourselves, a spell to obtain our souls once more, but when we speak it, no sound. We are all deaf, so failure is inevitable, and I regret ever entering my eternal bet with the devil inside of me. What the fuck is he talking about? Immortality versus soul snatching. Gary Crook versus Jake Shanley? Who the fuck are those people?
No idea, dude.
I don't remember this section at all in the original readings, and I feel like I used to watch this shit for entertainment. What the fuck? Get to the fucking ending, dog. Oh, god.
How much more is there?
It's not much. It's pretty much like right there. It's just adding shit that I've never seen before. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for about maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people. He plays his game in more ways than one. And then he gets bored. He drags you into his game. Literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you always as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for about, count it, 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me like a whisper.
Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom.
I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes.
More blood?
That's originally where it ends. And I'm keeping it there because there's like another paragraph and a half of that, and I can't be fucked.
I can't be fucked.
What is your honest to God thoughts on what you just had to sit through?
It was very, you could tell it was written by a kid.
On God. The thing I wonder.
In that respect, it's not terrible.
Just do it!
Bro just went full Shia LaBeouf on me, dude.
Oh, God.
And I have to work at 1:30.
It sounds like I should probably quit out here, too.
It was good session with you.
We are done.